Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 6 of Roll20 Presents, the Sprawl. How are my little cyberpunks doing?
I have a question for you, Adam.
Oh my god, yes.
Kellogg's cereal. Is that cyberpunk?
Hey, no, it's my turn. It's my turn.
Oh, it's your turn.
But you know what? Because you jumped on the initiative because you rolled a 20 on that one. No, not inherently because it's just cereal, but the reason that cereal exists does kind of sound like a weird like Neil Stephenson style like cyberpunk plot because it was invented to stop people from abusing themselves. Look up the history of cereal. Seriously, look it up. Kellogg was a weirdo.
Yeah, no, there's a movie about it too. It's really
All right, Andrew. I'm sorry.
That could be cyberpunk.
I jumped the gun.
All right, it is in fact Andrew's turn.
So Al, since you're so eager, you can take my first prompt, which is the restaurant chain Denny's. Is that cyberpunk?
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes.
Okay, why? Help us understand, because I think I'm almost there with you, but I want to know.
Because Denny's is the that nighttime gathering place where you and your group of cronies like get together and make your plans for the week, and talk about the amazing things that you could be doing, but that you're actually just here at Denny's having a fucking grand slam or whatever.
I would tend to agree that Denny's in its own way is kind of cyberpunk.
Like, let's not forget its namesake. Its namesake, JC Denton. It's obviously named after
the main character from Deus Ex. Awesome. I like it. Good. Well, that seals the fucking deal. Thank you, Dave.
It is the shell, the host of cyberpunk.
Badly lit, neon, open all night. Yeah, definitely. Yep. I feel it.
Tacky, commercialized. Yeah.
I feel it. Yeah.
All right, Blue Jay. Otaku subcultures.
I don't know. You have to tell me
On
what
the
it
list of
was
answers that are
first.
available to you.
You have to tell me what it was first. It's not my fault. Is this the thing where you have to Google image search if you don't understand?
It's like
right,
me.
we'll
basically what I'm like.
Is Dave cyberpunk?
Yes.
I think you're pretty cyberpunk, Dave.
Thanks. I like that.
But like that unstated British cyberpunk.
Yeah, the understated British cyberpunk that we all much about. Okay. David Human.
Yep.
The beverage Fanta. Is that cyberpunk?
Yeah, as it's short for the Disney Bezos initiative, Fantastic Humans.
Right. Fanta.
It's the drink. It's the drink of exceptional
Fantastic
people.
Humans.
Yeah.
All right.
You drink it, and
That seems like the opposite of
flavored like
cyberpunk.
victory.
I don't understand cyberpunk. You guys are saying all these things are cyberpunk when they're just actually like window dressing for the cyberpunk and not cyberpunk.
This is the part where if I had it available, I would put up that's the joke gif.
Yeah.
Adam Cole.
Yes.
Blue jeans. Is that cyberpunk?
Yeah. Blue jeans are hella cyberpunk. You know why? Because they represent Western capitalist expansion into developing countries. Everybody is about the blue jeans, especially in the 80s and like early 90s in the Soviet Union, right? It was all about like they're going to colonize us with their capitalism and their blue jeans. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, denim, hella cyberpunk. Especially on the other end too, the like really expensive, like custom made elixir style, like raw selvage denim.
High fashion.
Yeah.
Well, and didn't like denim start as like the working man's like work outfit because it's a tougher fabric also?
Yep.
Like,
So
and then it was.
Didn't you name your channel after them?
I like actually.
Blue Jay.
No,
Blue
like
Jays.
Jay.
Yeah,
my
Blue
middle
Jays,
name
like
is
blue
Jean.
jeans.
So blue jean. Yeah, that's
what we call
the
them
thing.
in North America. Dave, we call them Jays. Like, no, nice Jays you got on.
That's actually
And
me.
you
just
actually love them
nail
so
on
much,
head.
you made your hair the same color as denim.
Yeah.
So when's that Levi's sponsorship coming up? You
Well,
get
we'll
on that?
figure that out.
Yeah.
They were considering her for the commuter line, but then they realized that she doesn't commute.
I have a bonus. I have a bonus round for everybody. We don't even have to answer this now, but think about this between now and the next session. Juggalos, are they cyberpunk?
Adam, I actually have a bonus round for you specific.
Really? All right. But
is-
juggalos, though. Think about that. We'll just put that
I'm
away.
thinking about juggalos right now. But the bonus round for you, Adam, is yurts.
Oh yeah, hella cyberpunk. Though like dangerously close to becoming like whatever the like hippie yuppie version of cyberpunk is. Because I think that yurts are very popular among the same kinds of people who are really into like artisanal yoga studios and like taking Airstream trailers to Burning Man, like those sorts of, you know, the kind of people I'm talking about. Yeah.
Okay, double bonus round. Magnets, how do they work?
Are magnets cyberpunk? Well, I mean, who knows? Who knows?
It's a
They don't
very
exist.
broad. That's
We
a
have
very
to understand magnets to be
very
able to
broad
know whether or
stroke.
not they're cyberpunk.
It's true.
Nobody knows. Not even scientists.
By the way, guys, I
Except Lion. And
I have
yeah, I forgot the rest of the line.
I have the technology. I have the gear within like 2 feet of distance to instantly cyberpunk any outfit.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Is it magnets?
there's sunglasses and a leather jacket within
Perfect.
like.
Oh, I thought it was magnets.
Perfect.
Let me
If
just
I
put
need to
magnets
get-
on
if I need to
myself,
get
and
immediate-
then I'll be cyberpunk. Please, Dick.
You do have magnets on yourself right now, Blue Jay.
I know I do.
If this game were slightly less serious and it made more sense in the world, or it was set somewhere different in the fiction, I would definitely have a Juggalo gang led by the Juggalord, and that would be a thing for sure. I always wanted to write, for folks who are familiar with Fiasco, I had a conversation with Jason Morningstar at Big Bad Con once about writing a Fiasco playset set at that gathering of the
At the
Juggalos.
gathering of the juggalos.
Yeah. Because I think that musical subculture, like especially really weird, intense, like inwardly focused musical subculture, is really interesting. It'd be cool to do one set in like the black metal scene in Norway in the 90s, like really niche. No one outside of it understands what it actually is. Role playing game. Yeah. Plus, then it would sell 1 million copies because people like niche role playing games.
Yeah.
And by a
And it
million,
would
I mean 10.
write itself.
Eric Vulgaris would buy it.
Oh, damn.
Whoa!
Shots fired.
Why is that a bad thing?
Just a straight call out, though.
It's true. It's true. No, I mean,
I'm not saying you're wrong.
this is a thing. This is a thing that happens sometimes with folks who are exposed to like small press RPGs for the first time. They realize that there's like 1 million of them, and for about 5 minutes at a time for each game, they get really excited about those games. It happened to me. It happened to most of the people that I know that were like, "Wait a second, you can play more than Dungeons and Dragons."
Oh
It's
shit!
just a thing. It's a thing. People getting excited about options.
I was Jaden Cynical the whole time and hated everything. So.
Why past tense? I mean, present tense.
I mean, I'm with you there. Jaded, cynical, salty.
I am not.
There you go.
I made the bottom half of my face into a magnet.
Good job. Now you're cyberpunk, like more so than before.
What?
Good work.
But, see? I can move my mouth.
I
And it
haven't
doesn't.
been
I'm a
looking at
magnet.
the camera for the last like 5 minutes.
You keep it there the whole
What
time.
is today?
Well, it's Christmas Day.
Merry
So
Christmas.
yeah, where were we at? What were we doing? What was happening? We were in the legwork
have
phase.
We
no
just got a
idea.
helicopter.
Oh yeah.
Was that the last thing that happened? I mean, I
Yes.
see a helicopter.
That was the last thing that
That was
happened.
the last thing that happened.
I watched it yesterday, so I know.
Okay.
I committed to trying to hook a friend up with Flamingo.
Oh
for a
yeah.
helicopter.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah.
What was that person's name again? I think I wrote it down, but
Sigrid?
yeah, Siggy.
Yeah.
But she went by
Siggy.
Siggy. Yeah.
The hottie that wants the girl with the less body robot.
With the less than complete.
Yeah,
With the-
I want people who are the least amount of people possible. Like maybe none at all. Just can I date an AI?
Yes, can we do that? That'd be great.
I mean, if that were the defining factor,
But it'll get real sad at the end and I'll cry in the
Yeah,
theater.
but it's so good. It's
Is
so
that what you
bittersweet
did?
though, and Joaquin Phoenix is so nice.
Yeah. It's a
I need
sad
to watch
movie.
that again.
God, that
It's been
movie
a
was
really long
good.
time.
Shit. Okay, stream's canceled. I'm gonna go watch her. Bye. See
Yeah.
you later, everybody. We out.
Okay, see ya.
Sounds a little creepy when you say it like that, Adam.
Okay, all right, fine. We can play a Sprawl. That's fine. Okay, so y'all are still in control here. Let me frame up an opening scene, and then we'll let you. I'll turn it over to you nerds. So I think that we see like a news broadcast, and in like an 80s movie, this would be on a bunch of TVs in a TV store, but instead it's in like an AR, like a news zone, probably in the center of a building or a mall or whatever. We can't see it, but we can see the holograms, and it's got the Disney Bezos and the Krug logo kind of like floating. And there's a guy. He looks like South American. He's wearing a white suit with like the kind of David Seraph ostentatious, like, high collar. God, I hate that guy. Ruined that game for me. And we see him like shaking hands with a woman, like a Slavic woman, similarly like dressed, maybe a little more like business military than him. And they're shaking hands, and the voiceover in Swedish and in English and in Mandarin and a bunch of other stuff is explaining. We get the tail end of an explanation about the announcement today comes on the heels of leaked rumors of a Krug Disney Bezos co-venture. And it begins like showing some information about. We get like an aerial shot of what looks like a cruise ship being built, and we see the logo on the side says like Luxury Krug, and it's they're talking about how there was like some rumors floating around, and so Krug and Disney Bezos came forward like publicly to be like, yes, we're working on something together. It's this like luxury line of like cruises for the middle class business folks who just want to show their family a good time, and they're going to open in the next year with like an Alaskan cruise and then expand to other parts of the world. And so we see this big sort of obvious, clear like press release video, and then it kind of flickers, and the holo display kind of like fritzes out a little bit, and then we can see the inside of the building that it's being displayed in, and it's this kind of semi-abandoned mall. There's a bunch of like storefronts that are boarded up. There are a couple of sort of food stalls, like non-human, I guess, unmanned food dispersal units, and then a couple of kind of grungy looking like teenagers playing soccer in the middle of the kind of cracked tile of this little plaza. And the power dips out, and the broadcast goes off, and the kids turn and look at it, and they all have these like ventilator masks on. The air is full of kind of dust, and they look over kind of frustrated, not because they were watching the broadcast, but because it was illuminating the inside of this room that they were using to stay out of the cold. And I think that we see that one of the kids runs over to start screwing with it, and then we fade to y'all. So who's doing what? What's the action? What do we start legwork with today? We're currently at 1,800 hours on the legwork clock, so you got like a reasonable amount to go and still safely get paid. But yeah, what are y'all doing? What's the plan?
We still haven't found out where exactly they're meeting, right? The lady
No,
said
because
that
we found out. Yeah, we found out that they're not going to be told until like the thing actually happens. Yeah. At least the people on the Disney Bezos side. We haven't tried to contact like the Krug side of the meeting. Mm-hmm. But also we don't have contacts that do that. So I could try and make one. But also I almost feel like we could just trail the Disney Bezos person too.
Because one of them is going to be coming into town from middle of fucking nowhere, Canada. Yeah. And one of them is already in town, and she's kind of been given the like she's got the alarm bell going on in terms of like she knows that somebody was going up to her and stuff.
Yes, yeah. William Rockford, VP of Antarctic Fulfillment, is coming in from a Baffin Island facility. And then Rosalind Al-Rashid is the junior VP of Transatlantic Unmanned Vehicle Department. And both of them deal with like shipping. Essentially.
I also remember that QQ got taken for a Mouseketeer at one point during the last.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was great. So I guess if we like all met up together and decided what we wanted to do, I could definitely have be like following this lady around discreetly, reporting back to us.
That is not a bad idea at all.
Yeah, you should definitely have your little buddy following Ruslan Al Rashid around, at least in the unsecured areas.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't go into buildings or anything.
So is that what we see? Do we see you like nearby giving instructions to B?
I think it's that like if we're getting the image, it would be B coming back from like having been doing that. I feel like after Flamingo got the information that they didn't know when it was happening, she would have been like, well, we need to keep an eye on this to see. And so then that would have been when the order went out, and maybe time passes and we get like, she's just in her office and, you know, we've got some time, like we can check over what she's been doing and see if there's any inconsistencies or.
Yeah, I mean, this could be either. I think you could argue for assess or maybe research in this case, because you're kind of building up a profile of what she does with surveillance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which of those two do you think that is? Because it sounds like you're making one move or the other. You tell me.
I feel like assess is gonna give me the answers that I want more.
Okay.
Because what we need is where, and we're just watching and waiting for this person that we think is going to get that information to get that information.
Yeah.
Right?
So I think the thing is here, the path that you're on now will not pre-warn you about the location. It'll just mean you're following this person. So you're putting all your eggs in one basket, in the sense that if by whatever course, like if they catch you, they might just cut her from the meeting and then you'll miss it completely, right? Because you'll be following around a red herring.
Well, I mean, this isn't to say that this is the only thing that we're doing.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, we're gonna make
right, but she doesn't know in advance where it is. So if you follow her, then ostensibly the only time she's gonna find out when it is. I'm not trying to dissuade you. I'm just letting you know that like this is an all your eggs in one basket thing, as far as she goes, because she's not gonna know to the last minute.
Yeah. But as far as do we have another source of info?
I mean,
who still has a contact available?
I do. I
haven't used it.
No, I don't.
No, you don't, Dave. Yeah.
I still have my actual like hit the straight roll, because I didn't even do that. I hit the straight for the contact I already knew, but I know people a new one. Because we talked to that same contact that I had last time for Disney Bezos, the scheduler.
Yeah, you didn't make a new one.
And I didn't make a new one, so I could use I know people.
Wait, you made that hacker person.
Oh, the go-between. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But I mean, you can use your move. You can use your move over and over, right?
I mean, no. I think I can only use it once per legwork. Hang on.
Let me check.
Once per mission, you may introduce a new contact. Yeah.
Oh no, I mean your other one.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, yeah, it is once. It's once for each. Right.
Yeah, but I've only done one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you did the rolling one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because you found out that you'd never met before.
Yeah, exactly. So I can do the other one, which is the like one everybody has.
Right.
I think.
Yeah, the free one where you don't have to roll. Okay, the safe one. That's good. Okay.
Yeah. So what I might do is see if I know anyone on the Krug side of this meeting, or alternately in the sort of like illicit areas of the Krug stuff, you know, like they've clearly got something going on that's like illegal, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's sort of a given, because they're a giant corporation and they get to decide what's legal and what's not.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
But the thing is, we have to figure out this meeting. Mm-hmm. So it's gonna be like another planner or somebody like mid-level who sorts this stuff out, or somebody who works security. Actually,
or somebody we've seen in that news broadcast.
The thing with declare a contact is you can just say this is kind of like me being informed both by what the rules are saying and by like just other games that do similar things. you can just say, I know someone who knows about this meeting. Right?
Oh, okay.
Because it says it specifically says in the book, like, don't be shy about declaring a contact with a specialized skill set. Declaring contacts is an important part of the game. It's hit the street to see how they help you, but you can literally just be like, I know someone with information about this.
So I could literally just say, like, I know the person heading up the security team for this meeting.
Yeah, name a contact, describe them, say why the contact owes you a favor or why you owe them a favor. The MC will ask you some questions about you and your relationship, add them to your list. You can only do this once per session. Other playbook moves may allow you to do more. And then it gives you the option to hit the streets, right? So the actual move doesn't involve rolling, but once you've declared the contact, then I can talk to you about how that's going to work.
Sweet deal. Let's do it. So that's what I'm going to do. I know the person on the Krug side of this mission who is heading up the security. I guess that sort of works as a thing that would
Okay.
help. I should have done this earlier, but
Yeah, I think we were all under the assumption that we use a low way in as opposed to just be declarative about it.
Well, I mean, you still have to roll, and you still
yeah,
have
I'm gonna make a roll.
Yeah, and you still have to.
So we're gonna hit the street and see how this person can help me out. Hang on. Okay, I need to do that. So that is a 7.
Okay. I'm just making up a name for this person.
Of course.
Okay, so on a 7 for hitting the street. Let's talk a little bit about this. So how do you know this person? His name is Dmitry. His last name is Petrov Jones.
Dmitry Petrov Jones.
It's hyphenated.
I love him already. So I know Dmitry through a small series of proxy wars that were once fought in the name of entertainment for the great esports company that is, the Disney Bezos broadcast.
Oh yeah, cool.
Wars. And this was one of the guys who was like well known for the drone operating positions, and has since like taken up with Krug through like a contract that they got.
Not as well known as me.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, well, you're not really well known yet, so you got to get on that. Okay. Yeah, I think so were you on like? I
mean, I was on middle management. Like I was an agent, not a security person. I sort of did the organization of these things, and like, well, there's a battle to be had, like here, and we got to order these things and send them to this person and get these things and send them over there. And I'll oversee the fact that we need this specific kind of security drone.
Yeah, like, and I think Dmitry is like an older dude. He maybe wasn't at the time, but now he's part of like a managerial force at Krugsec. And they at the time he was probably like a personal coach for some of the like ground level combatants.
Yeah.
Or like the drone controllers.
Yeah, he's the esports coach.
Yeah, totally. And now, yeah, his official title is probably like conflict producer, like executive conflict producer at Krugsec. And yeah, he's most known for, or kind of like earned his stripes during those proxy wars, in the North Dakota combat zone, which is sort of an offshoot of the like continuous ongoing war in like the Texas, Arizona kind of like.
Oh yeah, we've
Southwest.
got like a desert combat. In the US.
Water wars, because there are people that live there, but there's all these like Phoenix is totally abandoned, just used as a combat zone, and there's all these like Chinese arcologies that are kind of like trying to like get a hold on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's mostly just a blasted.
It's real lucrative.
If it's Disney, they totally kept DreamHack going, because that's a perfect name for this exact situation.
Yeah.
It's esports.
So they, I mean, it's used for a lot of things, because it's technically not under, since the dissolution of the American government, it's not under anyone's jurisdiction. It's a kind of like debated zone. And especially the sort of like Southwest of America. So this is like a northern kind of offshoot of those conflicts. Yeah, and so he was part of that. So what do you how do you know each other?
So I think I sort of had direct contact with Dimitri when he was doing the drone training for the like up and comers.
Right.
Because
Corporate liaison.
I supplied the hardware. Like I was the go between for them with Freyr and like that specific technology. I imagine, and this is just to fill in my like dark past a little bit here, because I have a thing that's like when you keep secrets about your dark past, you know, get XP.
Yeah.
I imagine we probably did some things that we weren't supposed to. Maybe rigged, some stuff to fail, or that kind of sneaky.
Yeah, I mean, Krug cheats at everything. Like
Yeah.
they don't give a fuck. They just want to win, whatever it is.
I mean, that's what I mean. Like, I probably took like substantial bribes from this person.
Right. So he knows some secrets about you.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you take QQ with you, knowing that he could spill the proverbial beans?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So does QQ know these things about you, or are you going into this like, God, I hope he doesn't mention it?
I don't know what you think, Andrew, because I think, I want to include you in this discussion, so to speak. But I think you probably know I'm not always up to the exact right thing, and that I often choose.
That much I do know.
Yeah.
But the details are often lost on me because you're a sneaky snake.
Yeah. I think that's sort of what it would be like. So it's like, it wouldn't be surprising, but it also definitely isn't open information.
Right, and maybe if QQ found out, it wouldn't make that big of a deal. But like, if Dimitri, if Petrov Jones like started telling people that were in your contact list, they might be less inclined to do business with you.
Or even if I were reported, even now after not being, it's been years, but this kind of stuff keeps. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no statute of limitations on fucking over Freyr. So.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So where do you meet with Dimitri?
I assume there's like a Krug headquarters other than the Leviat.
Yeah, I don't think he would meet with you at HQ.
I really don't think you should go
No.
anywhere near that. No, that seems real bad.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Krug has this policy of.
It was more just to get the feel of the location rather than like to go straight to their straight.
Yeah, I think this is the thing. Krug has this policy of not owning land-based real estate outside of civil areas that they don't directly control, right? Like if you're in a building owned by Krug, the whole country is owned by them.
Okay.
They mostly do like temporary offices.
Yeah, because they're like raw resource management and stuff, right? Like
Yeah, so they own like mines and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they pretty much will just find resources, drop a pod from the Leviat, and then build up this kind of structure around it. And then that becomes extraterritorial. Like, basically, they consider the whole ocean to be their
to
terrain.
be Krug
Yeah.
terrain, yeah.
Yeah. They're
love
not
it.
so much on owning buildings. So, I mean, we could roll some random shit to figure out.
Feel free.
details
I'm
about this.
100% up for a random meeting location.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Let's do it.
We'll fill in the details if they're needed.
Hang on. Okay. Okay. So it is an incomplete. Very noisy. Ooh, this is cool. All right, so it's like a construction site. Makes sense for meeting.
Makes total sense.
That's perfect, yeah.
And then we'll give it another feature. Cool. All right.
Chat, of course, says it's Denny's.
No, Denny's is for after the mission. Denny's is the get paid. Okay, so Krug, because they do like raw resource stuff, I think they probably have some kind of ties with like construction. Not so much that they make the buildings, but the city, the municipal, the Megaplex Municipal Court has some kind of deal with them where they buy resources to make this like Duracrete like stuff. And so yeah, he's kind of overseeing or like visiting one of these locations, and invites you to meet with him here. Like he's like, yeah, he's in the megaplex. I think he probably operates mostly like in the vicinity of this area, so that later if you call on him, you don't have to like travel to Russia.
Sounds good.
So yeah, I think it's night. We have this kind of, you know, when they show like construction sites and they're lit by those like intense
The halogens.
the like horizontal lighting of the halogens, so everything might as well be black and white. Everything is gray except for a bunch of kind of piles of material that are covered in tarps. And because you're more or less outside and you're up several floors, you know, you're quite high up. There's like snow and stuff in here. But the more like I guess damageable or stealable material is covered in these big heavy gray plastic tarps.
From outside, it totally has like the ground level AR projected, like what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
So you like pass through that, and it's all like really crappy, like low level stuff. Like walk through the projector, and it like flickers with the halogens on it and stuff. Oh man, it would be super cool.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, the first few levels, and then above that, it's like raw bone sticking up out of
exactly.
you know, out of a broken arm. It like just looks hideous, and like it's all like chunks of.
That is a metaphor. Yeah, I like
you.
that.
Thanks.
All right. Yeah. So we meet there.
Okay.
I imagine, because you said it's noisy, so I imagine there's like still automated like construction basically going on.
Yeah, I think that it's shut down for now. And actually that's the thing. So you step out of a stairwell, because obviously the elevators don't work. You step out of a stairwell onto the floor, and you have to like step under some obviously damaged like caution tape, like municipal caution tape, being like, you know, no further construction allowed on this site. There are a bunch of seals from like various unions informing people like, go home, you can't work here, because there's some like red tape that's got to happen. So you like step under this thing into the thing, and there's a bunch of like construction drones that are just shut down. We see to one side, covered partly in a tarp, a kind of like Tachikoma looking thing, but it's got a big like concrete saw on the end of one of its arms, and it's just like lying quiet under the tarp.
Not terrifying at all.
No, not at all. Yeah, you know, Chad is asking, unions still exist? Yeah, unions. You know, like those organized crime syndicates that that have taken over labor and make poor people work for nothing. Yeah, those.
That sounds like Montreal.
So, yeah, so you step out. The two of you step out into this space, and you don't immediately see like Dimitri like around. But yeah, there's this cold wind kind of blowing through. You can see in the distance, we get that like intense depth of field bokeh of the like lights of the city, just kind of blinking. You're high enough up that we can see the red like "don't crash into this building" like light blinking on some tower nearby.
So like, you know, it's cold. Got the sort of folded arms posture, waiting, doing the like look over at QQ and say, "I'm not usually late, but he might already be here." Just like peering between
got a double date planned.
Just peering between the like tarped supply boxes and stuff, making sure there's nobody like sitting around or anything. Just that kind of stuff. This is where we said we were gonna meet, so I'm not gonna panic until it's well past meeting time.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, are you just gonna like stand by the stairs, or are you kind of looking around?
Yeah, no, I like step out and pass the barrier, and like look between, like I said, the like stacked tarped things, and just make it obvious that I'm here, basically, in case Dimitri's like hiding somewhere.
Sure. I'm interested in what QQ is doing. What are you up to, QQ?
I just shadow the boss while she's doing whatever she's doing. And I'm like keeping a lookout, because if things have gone slightly wrong and it involves Krug, then I'm probably gonna have to kill someone before this is done. So I'm ready.
Okay. All right. So I think that you're just hanging around, kind of waiting. There's the sound of conversation, quiet conversation in some Slavic language, and boots coming from the floor above down the stairs that you were going up.
Okay. I try and take cover behind something, like hide myself from view. Like if they're just going down the stairs and it's just some people who are like surveying the building or something, then I don't want them to see me necessarily. But I keep my eye out in case I recognize Dimitri.
Okay. Yeah. I think we see, we hear like more mumbling, and we see somebody who's not Dimitri, start trying to move the caution tape without damaging it, and then getting frustrated because he's only got one like arm available. Because we see the arm, we see this like kind of not satin, but like that kind of look, like black bomber jacket material. Let me see a hand, big kind of like meaty hand with some scars on the back of its knuckles. Like reach up to try to move this stuff, and then realize that it's like it gets frustrated, and he yanks it all down. And then there's some swearing in Russian, and and then someone peers their head through. And it's a pretty like burly dude, in the sense that like he's got really broad shoulders. He's quite tall. No obvious cybernetics, aside from some kind of like in the side of his temple, like up near his ear, some kind of like subdermal. You can see the lights kind of glowing underneath his skin. He has a kind of asymmetrical haircut where his hair is it's like black and just kind of like hangs flat on one side and then is shaved on the other. And he steps out. And he's like long black, like drain pipe jeans and combat boots. And the reason he only had one hand is because he's got a like cradled kind of under his arm. He's got like a matte black like P90, or the future cyberpunk equivalent thereof. And it's not super kitted out. It's not like it doesn't have like a laser sight and a bunch of other shit.
Sure,
it's just like a stripped down.
It's the bare basics matte black P90.
Yeah, stripped down kind of bullpup, like plastic casing over it, but it looks like it's in good shape. It has a barcode and some serial numbers, and we see this. We get this pan over, and despite the kind of roughness of his hands, we can see he's holding the gun. We can see that he's got like perfectly manicured fingernails, and he's got a big gold ring with like a sapphire or something in it. We see 3 more of these guys, like not exactly the same, but dressed similarly, like black bomber jacket,
like
black
they're the
jeans,
same.
combat
They're
boots.
part of the same group.
Yeah. One of them has 2 like Bato style like obvious cyber eyes and kind of a brush cut, and then there's a woman who she has a like a ball cap on, and then like a black like braid, but they're all dressed similarly and carrying weapons. And they come out and they kind of like look around, give each other like meaningful kind of like looks, and then split up. And it doesn't look like they're like hunting, but QQ, I don't know, are you both trying to stay hidden, or do you step out, or what's the deal here?
I'm hidden for now. Yeah, what are they up to?
Are they searching,
like
grid search sort of thing?
I mean, this is the thing. You have two options. You can try to watch and see what they're doing, or you could try to hide, right? Like, because if you can see them, they'll be able to see you. What's your priority here?
Mine is to keep my head down, but there's a counter message, that's basically like, this motherfucker better not have screwed us, like, keep your head down for now. If shit kicks off, well, it kicks off.
Well, and QQ does her best to hide. She's not great at it, though.
Sure.
I mean, is this something that you would have communicated with the team, that you were going to go to this meeting? Was there any kind of like, I wonder if this guy's
during a meeting, I would have been like, I have a guy that I'm going to talk to who I think is in a position of,
I'm just wondering if you would have been suspect enough to be like, yo, can you like keep an eye, or no?
I probably wouldn't have, because I want to keep my dirty secrets away from you.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
but also you'd know that I'm at a meeting.
I don't think that she would have any kind of like, this could go wrong, let me keep an eye. She doesn't.
I
I was just wondering if
probably
you
not.
had told her, then yeah. But
We're having a conversation at the moment, actually, but we'll get to that afterwards.
Sweet.
Okay.
So we're just, I think we're just trying to hide at this point, Adam.
Okay. All right.
Behind stacks of tarped goods.
Sure. Okay. I think it. I mean, you're acting under pressure, right? The pressure here is whether they see you. I think you're doing it together.
Okay.
So one of you can roll and the other can help.
So act under pressure is cool. I got a 1 on that. I don't know what you have.
Yeah, you go ahead and roll, and I'll help
Okay.
you.
This kind of sounds like what's happening anyway.
Yeah, narratively that makes the most sense.
You're
6.
gonna need that help.
Please.
I get a 7.
Okay, this is perfect. So, I think that they don't see Flamingo, but what do you have to do, QQ, to draw their attention so they notice you and not your boss?
Oh.
Because you got a 7, so you're in some kind of danger. You're on a spot, and
Yeah.
Flamingo has to make a hard choice. So you tell me what you have to do, and then Flamingo can tell me whether she's okay with that or if she wants to get caught. One of you will get noticed by these folks.
Do I just engage in an act of violence? This is always the question.
These people may be related to this meeting somehow.
How paranoid are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, is this us getting double-crossed, or is this them securing the perimeter?
What would QQ do?
I mean, okay, so
Look
these
at your
guys,
directives.
these guys have guns.
They do, yeah.
Yeah. But they're not like huge fuck off military cyborgs.
No.
No, not that you
They're
can
just
see.
people.
It's not a security team of like killer robots that's come to destroy us.
Not yet, anyways.
Yeah. I mean, if you shoot them all, maybe. But...
Yeah, so QQ just like, because there's a stairwell up or whatever. I was like hiding one level up or something in the stairwell, and I'll just walk down.
Oh wait, no, they're coming from above, so you couldn't
above.
have been hiding in the stairwell.
Okay,
no.
then I just walk out into open space, like, so we see me emerge from behind some concrete pillar, some like unfinished concrete pillar.
Do you have your guns out? I mean, you're obviously armed, but
yeah, I'm armed.
okay.
Don't have my armor on.
Do you have your guns in your hand?
Street fashion. They're holstered in my little like short jacket.
Yeah.
And so like the butts of them are sticking up out of the
Sure.
jacket at all times, and they're like not secured.
Yeah.
So I can just like if I need to.
Yeah, I always think of
Just-
Tybalt from the '90s Romeo and Juliet,
Yeah.
when like the like up here, like really obvious
Yeah.
big guns. Yeah.
In the armpit.
Just a question for QQ. Do you re-accessorize the phone charms on the end of your guns with like any necklace or earrings you're wearing?
Oh yeah, it all matches. Yeah.
Yeah,
And today
because they're showing, so the keychains would be kind of like hanging down like jewelry themselves. So
today she's wearing this like athletic wear kind of thing. It's like weird couture athletic wear.
Nice.
And so it's like the 3-stripe Adidas jacket, but like cut super short, and like open, and there's like lots of cleavage. And she's got tights on and boxer shorts, like the kind that actual boxers wear while fighting.
Yeah.
So like the big fat waistband with like, I think it says "I'm done with money" on it, and it's got these like big flared shorts over these like
I fucking
with,
love QQ's.
like with like open panels on them, kind of like that style that's in right now, with
Mm.
like the little like cutaways and stuff. But the cutaways are all this like super shiny. They have like pattern inlays in them that are all metallic and like shiny. So yeah, she's like super high tech
Someone-
shiny.
Someone told me a while ago about, and they grew up somewhere. Like I think it might have been my friend Dro, who grew up in Poland, was telling me about Adidas Plus and Adidas Minus, and like how like that was a way to describe the clothes you had based on the number of stripes. Like if it was actual Adidas, it had 3, but there was Adidas Plus, which had an extra stripe, and Adidas Minus that had 1 less, right? Because they were just like bootleg knockoff like
totally.
versions. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so you step out and we see you in the like bright this like bright light. Are you backlit, frontlit, like?
Oh, I'm totally backlit.
Okay, so you're more of like a silhouette.
Yeah.
Okay.
I look like a shining cybernetic angel of death.
Yeah, so I mean all three of them immediately, like there's that kind of like shuffle snap kind of thing that happens where
Like people bringing guns up.
they drop they all drop their pose, snap their guns up. There's the kind of like whispering sound of like the fabric of their clothes, like their sleeves rubbing against the inside of their jackets. And two of them immediately start doing that like cop shouting thing at you, telling you to like put your hands up. And they're both yelling in different languages, and they've done this a bunch of times, right? Like you can tell this is a practice thing. So one of them is shouting in the 4 languages that they know how to say, like put your hands up in, and the other one's doing the same, but they're not doing it like angry. You can see their faces are pretty placid. This is a practice behavior. And then the third one has the gun still in that kind of like up, like, you know, ready, but the other hand is up at his temple, and he's like hit a button and is talking quietly. He's sub-vocalizing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of gross. Like, if it's slightly subdermal to the point that you can still see the lights, he'd have to push his skin in until it kind of clicked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, there's like a button on this guy's temple. Yeah, and so QQ just says, I'm here for the job action.
Do you comply? Do you like put your hands?
And like my hands are like slowly going up. They're still at the like gun level.
They're aware of that, I think.
Yeah. What are these? What are they doing?
They're doing what security personnel do, where they don't answer questions. They don't tell you why they're shouting at you. They're just very aggressively, non-emotionally being like, put your hands up, put your hands up, put your hands up, get down on the floor, put your hands up. Like they shouting to the point where it's obviously they're not listening.
I would like to assess with Ed.
I will help
you. Do have time.
I will help you assess, because I'm getting a sneaking suspicion this is like the pre-security team for the guy. Like, you know.
Well, I
will help. I will help
6.
you.
So please help me. So
I am helping.
Ask one question.
There you go.
Thanks, pal.
All right, so you got an 8. So this means that you Erica are exposed to some kind of like danger or bad situation as a result of your helping. And I'll figure that out, I suppose. But yeah, it does allow for questions asked. So.
Ask a question.
So what potential complication do I need to be wary of?
Besides like pissing these guys off enough that they shoot at you?
Like, I mean, yeah, that's like really obvious.
Yeah, that's the clear one. I mean, I think I'll confirm the things that you already know, right? You don't know who these people are. This could go sideways in a way that you could take these guys. You could take them, right? Like they're not wearing full on like battle armor, even if they have vests on under their puffy bomber jackets.
Yeah, that's not gonna help them.
You could kill all 3 of them, no problem, and maybe like take a hit, but you'd probably be okay. The problem is whether or not you should, because you don't know who they work for, you don't know who these people are. The world will continue after the gunfight, even though usually that's as far as you can see ahead in the future.
That's an interesting choice of number. There used to be 4.
No, there are 3 of them.
You said 3. Oh, okay. I thought that was hinting at what the danger.
No, they're only the 3 of them that are.
So if I have to be exposed to some kind of danger, are they just gonna? Is it just a matter of them like seeing me?
Well, no, I don't want to invalidate your last roll, but yeah, I mean,
I think I'd take the gamble at this point, because like if they're all yelling at
no, you know what I think your danger is? You don't have an opportunity. QQ, you have to do something or choose whatever. You choose your action.
I can't do like smart flamingo thinking.
Flamingo cannot step in and do the smart thing here. That's the problem. That's the danger that Flamingo is exposed to. That QQ gets to guide the next thing that happens. So what is it, QQ?
Yeah, and so QQ, like her hands are up here, and she's just like, I have a lot of guns. Do you want them?
The dude who is doing the thing takes his hand away, and yeah, he walks, same thing, gun down, tight to his chest. He like walks over to you with his hand out, like, yeah, he's gonna take your pistols out of their holsters.
Yeah, and so she kind of like provocatively like steps forward and is just like, yeah, they're in here.
Yeah, so the others are pointing at you such a way that they there's no crossfire. They're not gonna like shoot at you and miss and hit each other. They don't have you surrounded. Yeah. But you have kind of the empty like wall, the unfinished wall behind you, and the wind blowing in through there, blowing your hair around. And they make a space such that he can approach, and if they have to shoot you, they won't hit him.
Yeah, totally. So these guys are showing signs of professionalism.
Yes, yeah, I think that's a clear thing to you.
They're not like they're not here by accident, sort of thing.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so yeah, he's approaching quietly. He doesn't make eye contact with you. He just keeps an eye on your guns, and yeah, he's coming towards you, reaching out with this perfectly manicured but also kind of beat up hand for your pistols.
Yeah, and I'll let him take them.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So he takes one out and throws it on the ground and kind of like slides it away towards one of the other guys who like boots it behind him, and then the other one the other direction. So they've split up. And then he, I think like forcefully, but not like he's trying to hurt you. Like puts his hand on your shoulder to turn you around. And then let's go of his gun, so it's hanging on his little like thing, and it's quite tight. You know, it's like he's playing bass in a metal band. He's got it like quite tight up to his chest, and he just starts patting you down, looking for like other guns.
Oh well, he finds my sword, which is hanging on my back like crosswise.
Yeah, so that that comes off and goes on the ground too. But he doesn't like force you to your knees or anything. He's just like patting you down, and he's doing so with a quite a like a practice, like he's done this a bunch of times. He smells faintly of expensive cologne, and then under that like cigarette smoke, you can smell it on his hands.
That Dracar Noir Krug smell.
Well, he doesn't smell like motor oil or like
he's not the typical Krug
filthy. Yeah, like he doesn't smell like cheap liquor. Like he's wearing. Yeah, he's wearing cologne, and he's close enough that you have that moment of even though there's like an aggressive exchange going on, that there is an intimacy there that you can smell like what he smells like on purpose, and and so he's like,
and I'm just like as practiced as he is at patting people down, I've been through this like a million times. I'm just like, whatever, okay, I turn, okay, move my arms this way, whatever, and just like
QQ's been through the security pat down a few times.
Yeah, and I like turn around and I'm like, yeah, okay, can we get on with it? What's next?
Okay, and you're not making any effort to like keep a weapon on you?
No, I'm just like acting like I'm annoyed.
You could kill them with your fingers.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much. So
he takes a step back, doesn't put his hand on his gun, and you can see him kind of like drop into a ready position, still watching you to see if you do anything, and then one of the other two, he like, I guess he doesn't even have to look at them. He sub-vocalizes something, and the woman nods and goes out to kind of flush out the rest of the floor.
Yeah. And so QQ is just gonna like make shitty jokes like, if I had a gun inside my arm, you'd be dead right now. Like every time you blink, I could be killing you.
Dude.
I think you're perceptive enough to notice this, that after you say that, he doesn't blink again. Like it just stops happening.
Yeah, totally. And this is all just QQ like needling them to try to figure out how
I'm waiting for like a situation to change here, like before I do anything, because like you said, I sort of lost my opportunity, and if I poke my head out now, that's like it's too late, you know what I mean, to be like, oh, we're here legitimately for this is like the secret ambush, poke my head out is what it would feel like. I feel like that's what Flamingo's thinking.
Well, what's great here is that you have more reason to be paranoid than QQ does.
Yeah, exactly. I get shot, it's gonna hurt a lot more.
Well, I was thinking more that you don't know if you can trust this guy.
You have more enemies.
That's also true. Like, I don't even know if this is a trustworthy meeting.
So here's the thing: the woman is gonna find you if you don't, because you're hiding, but like she's walking around like looking in places where people would hide. So unless you're gonna go full John McClane and try to like avoid her, she'll find you, or you can step
So what
out.
I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say something, but like not poke my head out. I'm just gonna like shout something into the room when I see this woman like sort of like making the rounds, or I hear her moving around the area. I'm just gonna say like, "This is taking a long fucking time," like, and just hope that like gives them enough, and slowly stand up afterwards. Like, we're here to meet. None of this is necessary.
Okay. Yeah. So you stand up slowly. We get the hard-edged kind of monochrome shadows of the halogens kind of beaming at you from the side. So you're like invisible on one side and then like really brightly like blown out on the other. Let me see. You say that, and then you say you're standing up.
Yeah.
Okay. So you start to stand up. The woman sees you, but doesn't snap her gun up. Her eyes, you can see like kind of move like quickly over you. Do you have any weapons that are like obvious?
I have an auto pistol, like a Freyr brand auto pistol stuck in the back of my pants.
Right. So she couldn't see it just by looking at you.
No.
Okay.
Because I got like a jacket on.
So she's got her gun down, points it at the floor, doesn't bring it up, and she subvocalizes something. You see her lips move. And yeah, we cut over to the stairs, and I think we see out of the shadow of the stairwell, someone in a long black like coat, I guess, like a raincoat or whatever, and it has to be like heated or something internally because it's way too thin for the weather. Yeah, we see this person in this long coat. He's got cargo pants, like military cargo pants. I mean, you can see the pockets have like stuff in them. And tall, perfectly polished, like look like they're right off the store shelf, combat boots. And I think we pan up from the boots and we get like a reflection on them of kind of the room as the shot pans up. And he's wearing like a standard kind of like battle dress, like collared shirt, with a pocket, that would normally have some kind of like stitched on like panel, but again, it looks like right fresh off of the store. It's never been used in a military context. The buttons are buttoned all the way up to the throat, and there's a tiny, a little like red pin in one of the lapels or whatever of one of the collar sides of the collar. It's just a little diamond shaped red pin. The person wearing this outfit is relatively pale, older. We can see that he has lots of years, lots of mileage, maybe more mileage than years on his face. His head is shaved. You can see he has a receding hairline, but that he shaves his head regularly, though it looks like it's been a few days. And there's a cigarette, a black cigarette hanging from one lip. His nose has that kind of jink in the middle where it's obviously been broken before. And I think he has a scar dividing his eyebrow where the hair doesn't grow back. He takes the cigarette. Yeah. You recognize him. We've obviously never seen him before, but this is Dmitry Petrov Jones, and we see him. Yeah, like he reaches up and without taking another drag on the cigarette, just like drops it on the floor and steps on it. And he looks around and he mutters something out loud in Russian, and the guards all kind of like visibly drop into like an at ease stance, but they don't like return your guns or anything. And Dmitry looks across the construction at you, Flamingo. Do you say anything when he steps out, or do you let him have the first word?
I like step as soon as I see him like step into the doorway and I recognize him, I like start walking over towards him, sort of thing.
Okay. The
not in like a threatening way.
No, of course. But as soon as you move, the woman, her gun snaps up. But she doesn't like shout at you or anything. But she just her gun snaps up, and Dimitri puts a hand up, and he says something to her. She lowers it again, and we see that he's got that same kind of like rough, like calloused hands. His hands are like quite large. He's a big dude. And he's got a silver ring on his pinky that's like engraved in Cyrillic, but we can't make it out as he puts his hand up. And he puts his hands down, and she kind of like lowers her gun.
It's been a while, Dimitri. Looking a little worse for wear, but I guess the feeling's mutual. She says, like, robot hand and plate over her eye, basically.
Yeah. He just looks at you, like just like blank faced. He has these kind of dull, like vaguely bluish eyes. And yeah, he just kind of like looks at you when you approach, like neutrally.
Well, all right. Pleasantries aside, I have to talk to you about something.
He nods. He says, of course. I did not expect to hear from you again.
I thought we parted ways on a positive note. Something at least mutually beneficial. I say, like, pointedly.
Yeah, while you're speaking, he seems to notice a fleck of like white ash that has drifted onto his coat, and he kind of just like brushes it off.
But that has nothing to do with why I need your ear now. Been getting along well at Krug?
He raises his scarred eyebrow, just like a millimeter.
I have something I need to, as I said, ask you about, and your I say, like, looking around at the various security people, Cadra is a little less than private, don't you think?
He shakes his head. He says, the credentials of my security team are impeccable. You have nothing to worry about.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. And I will do everything in my power to make sure this goes well for all of us. So, I hear that you're overseeing the security of a particular meeting coming up soon. A meeting that nobody should know exists, but that I do. The Krug Disney Bezos merger, or not merger, but business venture. We need to interrupt that.
He squints at you slightly, and I think he looks over at QQ and at QQ's guns on the floor.
Exactly.
And he says, you realize this interruption will make me look bad if you are successful?
But in coming and speaking to me, we've presented ourselves with a very interesting opportunity here, I think, for both of us to profit from this situation. I happen to like you, Dimitri, and your team. Very professional. Take their job very seriously. I understand that. But measured up against the kinds of things that are going to be happening, I'd rather they not be injured or killed. Yourself neither.
His lip curls back slightly as if you've described something impossible.
It's important for me to maintain my business relationships. I consider you to be one of those valuable people that I happen to know, and we've had good, as I said, business interaction in the past. Pleasant person, Dimitri. And what I need from you is the location of this meeting. And preferably your absence. Say you were ambushed. Say you were delayed by some disaster. Make something happen that makes my life easier and your life possible.
So while you're, while you're talking, he's reached into his jacket and he's taken out a soft pack of some kind of weird Mongolian cigarettes, and he's like knocking one into his hand, and he puts it between his lips. Takes out a silver lighter, lights a cigarette, and takes a long draw on it, and his face kind of glows red. And he exhales, but not towards you. Like he breathes down, so he doesn't breathe in your face. And you smell this kind of like intense like campfire smell from the cigarette, and he says maybe we can arrange trade. You tell me who told you about this meeting. Give me your employers. That way I can seal leaks.
You'll be sealing these leaks after I've been paid, I hope.
He nods. He says, I will blame problem on disloyal employees. Is not lie. But
True.
I need your help.
And I'll be happy to provide you with that information. Given my situation, I'd rather have you on my side than them. I don't know about them. Not sure about their loyalty, like you said.
He says, give me names, numbers, people that I can speak with about this. Then I will tell you where this meeting is.
I need to do some searching of my own for that information before I can hand it off to you, which I'll gladly do. I have no loyalty to these people. I have a loyalty to their money.
So what two things are you choosing from the 7 to 9 list for
Yeah,
history?
I have to pick. Hang on. I guess it's probably the time, like take some time to put together. And that it is that Dimitri needs my help with something. I guess that would be this.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the thing, right? Is that we should have rolled the move much later than we did. But yeah, if you don't feel too like boxed into making that choice.
No, not at all. Like I'm down.
Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. So just for the work, right? Because it's part of the move, you got to pay however much you would normally pay.
It's a cred.
Yeah, it's a cred. To grease the wheels. And then he'll tell you where the meeting is, and you don't have to do it right now, but you do eventually have to give him something to go on, because he's gonna say like, yeah, this happened because of an information leak. It's not my problem as a security guy. Like, I did my job.
But he needs names of people.
Yeah, and he's not gonna back off. Like, he doesn't care about the lives of his men. He's like, they're well trained, and you're well trained too. And like, if they die, that they're dying doing their job. But he will tell you where it is and let you do your thing if you're going to give him, and then later you're going to give him names. You're going to find out about who hired you so that he can go and like put some Krug justice on these people because there is a leak and he cares maybe more about that. Plus that that there's some like internal politics stuff, right? Like Krugsek is his department probably has like a feud or some problems with like the intelligence department. And so if he can blame it on them, that's going to give him political power to move around in that space. And he's an ambitious dude. He's loyal, but only in so much as that loyalty buys him his own advancement.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Star Wars, but the Empire.
Yeah, right.
So I get my information now, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like we don't have to worry about the exact details, but yes, that's basically the thing.
I have the meeting location.
Yeah. So so he tells you he gives you an IP address of a temporary like data drop that he's going to use. He says files will be here tomorrow morning, and he gives you a window to like check it in, and then the server will self-destruct.
Perfect. Then this meeting is concluded. I give him the address, the bank balance sort of shifts and changes on the live account feed.
Mm-hmm.
Token of my appreciation for your assistance in this matter, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to continue to do business in the future. You and your men seem well trained, like you said. Not that I would expect any less. Enjoy your evening.
Yeah, he says when you say that, like they're well trained. He looks at your arm and then looks at you and he says, "I always preferred human touch." And flicks the cigarette, which he's kind of smoked down as you're speaking. Flicks the cigarette onto the ground. It kind of bounces and sparks scatter. And it lands near one of QQ's guns, and we see the dude with the kind of flat ironed hair pick the gun up by the barrel and go to like hand it to you. QQ, yeah.
Yeah. I take my gun back. I'm just like jamming in the armpit holster.
Yeah, and he says like quietly, and this is the first thing he said like out loud the whole time. He says, "Is a big gun for little girl."
And I like tilt my head. You got any big guns, tough guy?
He grins, and you can see that the like 3 teeth are on his canine, like his canine and the 2 teeth next to him, they're all gold. And he grins at you, and he says, "No, I prefer small guns." And like kind of just like nestles his little like P90 up under his arm, and says, "Yeah," and he kind of just like nods at you like business like.
Yeah, and like someone hands me back my sword as well. I'm just like,
I think the other 2 weapons they just leave on the ground.
Oh, what a bunch of jerks! I thought these were professionals.
Yeah, I mean this was the one that was closest to him, so he gives it to you. But the other one's like you can pick it up yourself. They're not really concerned with that.
Yeah, so then QQ just as a parting shot will be like, "We'll catch you later."
Yeah, and I guess we leave at that point. Like, head back
I'm anticipating murdering all of these people.
They leave first, and then give you space to leave. Like part of why they left your guns on the ground is so that you have to take the time to pick them up, which gives them a chance to get a few floors ahead of you and like clear the stairwell and stuff. Yeah, cool. Okay, so the 2 of you are in this building, and I think that we see the building from outside, maybe like a helicopter kind of silently like that goes by, and we can see the jagged bits of this unfinished building sticking up out of the darkness, snow swirling around, and just this single floor with the halogens beaming out.
I feel like there's probably like a last scene during this part with like me and QQ on the stairwell, like headed back down. Just a quick conversation of like, well, that went well. If we can avoid killing him, that would be good. Basically, like, like if he's there, problem. If not,
it's just going to be all his people, boss, and that's no problem.
Agreed.
Okay.
Bastard, making me work for this.
All right. Well, let's take a break there, and we'll come back and see what Cathode and Neat were up to while this was happening. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then I'll tell you all about where this meeting is happening, and you can figure out what to do next. Stick around, everybody. We will have more of the Sprawl when we return.